Hello and welcome back to the OBR YouTube channel. My name is Logan, and in this week's video we're going to go over creating our weekly watch list for the week of February 14th. First of all, thank you for stopping in and spending your time with us here today. In this video we're going to be covering the technical analysis in this upcoming week that we are going to be potentially looking to get into and being aware of. We're also going to cover the fundamental drivers that you need to be aware of in this upcoming week to stay aware. And also, we are going to be going over the earnings in the S&P 500 for this upcoming week. So, without any further delay, let us get right into this week's watch list. So, for our fundamental drivers in this upcoming week, we are starting the week off at 11 a.m. EST when we have US dollar news when FOMC member Bouyard will speak. This is in regards to early interest rate hikes, so very, very important to be aware of that. It'll be very important to see what comes out of that speech. And then Tuesday, we are starting off the day 8:30 a.m. with PPI numbers coming out of the US. Then Wednesday, we have 8:30 a.m. news when core retail sales and retail sales will be released. 2 p.m. on Wednesday, we have FOMC meeting minutes, and that is all for this upcoming week. And as you can see on screen right now, is the earnings in the S&P 500. So here we are for a technical analysis. We're going to be starting off on Bitcoin. We recently realized that Bitcoin was in a bullish impulse wave to the upside, and we saw we were in a classic 5-wave move. This is something that we use in regards to LA wave principle. If you're not familiar with that, please watch the other videos on our channel in regards to that. But in this LA wave count, we have a clear 5-wave impulse move to the upside, in which we are now in wave 4. So we had these lines drawn out last week when we saw this high form for wave 3, and since then we've been slowly coming down for wave 4. This is a classic corrective pattern, and I am very confident that we will see continued upside on Bitcoin once this corrective move is complete. So our price range for the completion of this corrective move is anywhere from $41,899 all the way down to this support zone we have here at $40,500 just about. So that's what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. We can even highlight this for you guys. This is our reversal zone on Bitcoin. Be aware of this. We will most likely see a move to the upside in Bitcoin in the near future, as well as in altcoins. So moving into some equities for the week, we were looking at Tesla last week, and our analysis required Tesla to break above this resistance zone, which we did not. So it does seem like it is more likely that we will now see a move to the downside from Tesla. That being said, we could just fill this gap and then continue higher. That was the other possibility, right? We said we could possibly see a move like this and then a continuation of the upside. So that's what I'm looking at. The only two levels I really have to the downside for Tesla is this level right here, where the gap will be filled at $846, $847, and then the next price range I have is down here at this blue line, which was our Fibonacci extension from our corrective waves at $789. 847 and 789. Keep an eye on those levels for Tesla. But I do think Tesla will continue to the upside after reaching those levels. Going into our indices for a short bit, we are looking at QQQ. And as you can see on QQQ, we had this corrective move complete, our ABC corrective move, followed by a partial impulse move to the upside, but it looks like that is now just another correction. So I personally think that we are seeing our bearish wave count in SPY play out, which we've talked about for many, many weeks on this channel. But we can quickly go over it again when we look at SPY. But essentially what that means is we will be expected to see SPY break back below 420. And if it does that, QQQ will obviously follow and make a new low as well. So we can quickly go over SPY first. And as you can see here, we had a 5-wave impulse move to the downside. And I said in order for this corrective move to really play out in a bearish fashion, we will have to see a lower high made from this recent high and then a move to the downside. And that's exactly what we got. We got the high set here, we made a little low, we made a correction move to the downside, and then we made a lower high right here. So we obviously have a higher high at this point because this was the prior high we had, and then from this high, we made a lower high right here. So now we are making a lower low from this this higher low that we had set here. So once we break out of this support fractal, I personally think SPY is going to follow its bearish wave count and break below 420, like I just said. Combined with the fundamental drivers of potential war, that is definitely something that we need to speak about, and we will get to that in the near future. But with the potentials of war breaking out, I am looking for SPY to the downside, at least in the short term. And then we will have to see how the fundamentals play out, but SPY will do well in the case of a continued conflict. it will have a negative reaction to the initial conflict. AMD is following SPY, which a lot of equities are going to do. They broke into a free fall on Friday after about midday, and I think that AMD is going to make another low as well. We could probably see a correction just from how bearish this impulse move to the downside was, so potentially a retest of this level and then a continuation to the downside. Moving into Boeing, on Boeing, we had a very interesting pattern play out, which it seems like the resistance line got moved again. Yes, it did. So, in Boeing, we had this multi-month downward trending resistance, actually multi-year. This is on the 4-hour chart. We broke down to a 1-hour chart and noticed that we also were making a lower high from this level, retesting that resistance, and we pushed very, very strongly off of it. So I think Boeing is also going to follow the market, but needless to say, Boeing has its own technicals which point for a short. So I am definitely looking for a bearish bias on Boeing. Facebook, on the other hand, looks to be forming an inverse head and shoulders, so if we break this neckline, I could see Facebook moving to the upside. But if the market does break into a free fall, Facebook will follow. Nvidia looks the same as AMD. They're obviously going to follow each other because they are both positively correlated as semiconductors. We also have some bearish technicals for AMD, such as the retest of this resistance line and also the break of this support. So looking for lower prices on Nvidia. AMC, on the other hand, actually does look quite bullish in comparison to the rest of the market. We just retested this resistance zone, confirming it as support, and it looks like we are about to break out of this downward trending wedge that we've been in. So keeping a close eye on AMC. I'm not sure if I'll play this, considering the market looks to be bearish, but AMC does look bullish. Alibaba looks great for a continuation to the upside if we can continue this momentum. We obviously had a gap down on our analysis last week, but we since recovered and are working out very, very well. We just have a retracement right now, and I'm absolutely looking for a continuation to the upside on Alibaba. Piton is in a classic 5-wave move to the upside. I do think Piton continues higher. It's having a classic zigzag corrective move right now. A zigzag is a corrective move such as so. We have a low made, a lower high made, and then a lower low made, and then a move to the upside. This is a 5-3-5 pattern, so we'll have to see how this plays out in Piton, but it does look bullish. That being said, we could obviously come lower, potentially retesting this zone as support at 32.72. And also, with the topic of war, we have to quickly touch on oil. Oil will skyrocket if we do break out and have conflict in the world. That's because of the countries involved. Oil would look incredibly well, so it's worth looking at longs on oil if you do think that we are going to escalate into conflict. And the only last topic I have on that is that if anybody has any family in Ukraine, our team's condolences go out to you. We hope everybody stays safe. It's a terrible, terrible thing. So that's all we can say on it right now. Let's just hope it doesn't escalate further. So that was the market forecast for the week of February 14th. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I really hope you guys pulled some value out of that video in terms of some things to stay aware of, whether it was the drivers, the fundamental drivers, or it was the technical analysis or the earnings. So really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. And as always, on behalf of everyone at OBR, happy trading.